I'm Sachiko Kubota from Kobe University, Japan, and a representative of JASCA, which is Japanese Society of Cultural Anthropology. So I'm a specialist in Australian Aboriginal people doing research about indigenous issues. In Japanese case, there's anthropology outside university is not well represented. They are not taught in undergrads, high schools and secondary either. About which our society has been putting lots of effort mobilizing the government to make the anthropology as a subject to be taught. But it's very difficult matter. And at the moment actually in Japan, the social science teaching is in the course of restructuring. So we are trying to persuade and seeking the way to put something of anthropology into it. So at the moment, the situation is not so preferable, but we are hoping in the future to change it a bit. In Japan, the curriculum on social science is, from the primary, they are taught as a social science in general. And in high school, there is history, world history, and geology. So among this geology, quite many aspects of anthropology is included. And actually for the textbook, which is in Japanese case, textbook have to be followed. The general discipline of the government is given, but the professors were being asked to write those textbooks. So some anthropologists are writing textbooks as part of geography. So in high school, we should say anthropology is taught, and amongst the subject of geography mainly. As I said, many of those issues were included in geography, but there is another section, I don't know how to translate, but some subject called modern society. And that's a kind of multidisciplinary subject and minor subject. And really depend on the teacher, what they are going to teach in that subject. But quite many of them included the subject concerning anthropology because Japanese society is quite recently changed ourselves into the multinational, lots of immigrants, foreigners living in. So we call it, they don't call it multinational society, but we were saying Tabunka Kyosei, which means multicultural coexistence society, right? So those subjects were being taught in the school, and some teachers are quite heavily using the materials from anthropology. So I found that the newly coming in undergrad students, many of them knew about anthropology through those courses. Yeah, in other classes who is not so much into anthropology, still the stereotypes are repeated. So I think from my perspective, it is quite important to include anthropological perspective in, say, primary school education. So primary school education in social science, it's quite heavily on more stereotyped, old style, race, ethnic kind of teaching is more relevant at the moment. So hoping that part is, from my perspective, it is most important to be changed. And also in Japan at the moment, they are trying to internationalize universities and high schools, so which means they are letting more English courses in Japan in teaching in English, both high school and universities, and also letting the students to go out from Japan to experience foreign countries. So in that section, again, anthropology is quite heavily needed. and some of them are actually using it. It's heavily depend on the personal teachers or person in relation with teaching. So some are quite concerned about the knowledge of anthropology, and that makes our discussions. But from our side, I think we have to approach more to the teachers to let them to know what is the output of current anthropological research, so that to activate the teachings. I should say it's just beginning. As a history, we do have many anthropologists writing textbooks for the part of geography, but we do not have a direct relation to the high school teachers or high school curriculums until now, which I think it will be, we have to put more effort to enlarge that part as outreach from the university.